can see I came in at a fairly good time to watch HNB. I feel like this is personal. If you're curious what's happening here, HNB has built around the level 8 as they wanted to, have taken all of the level 7s and have moved down here to AOW's level 6. And to say surrounded things has been an understatement. They took out one flag, which took out a lot of territory over here on the eastern side of the map, and allowed them to zero some shelters for some much needed points. And yeah, I get a feeling that this is personal. Came out in force against this alliance, and it's rough. But anyways, that flag is also burning. But as you can see, H&B is taken over this particular island. And let's get started looking at some of the other islands. Before that, go through this process. Map. Let's check out G2. Now, I did end up missing combat between BTW and DHX. However, DHX came out on top. There was quite a bit of fighting a couple of nights ago right here around the top corner, but once DHX pushed them back, BTW ended up taking out their flags and heading over towards this level 7. So DHX is likely going to take this one. HNT has gotten 2 level 7s and a level 6, and M49 just has their 6. Olymp is taking this level 7 here from the looks of it, because DHX has built a space around it. ND21 managed to get down here to this level 7, and it doesn't look as if DHX is going to take it from them, but not that they need it. And have proceeded to push back PXL, so there's really no... I don't think anything else is too serious is going to happen in G2. I'd hope there is, but considering they're not building any flags towards it, and heading over to G3 to see how this is going. Okay, only one alliance near the level 8, and of course it is Boone. Boone built a straight line to level 8, to the level 7 back here, made sure Lost didn't make any movement, and then came down here to this level 6. I don't know what's going on here. It doesn't look as if... okay, it looks like Hot 9 had this level 6 at first, and Boone ended up pushing them back from it, so that their ally here, Too Hot, could have it. Don't know if there's any relation. I thought Hot 9 and Too Hot were part of the same region, but looks like I'm wrong. We have a farming base here. We have Tap, who's taken a level 7 and a level 6. Spec, who's taken a level 7 and 2 level 6s. X-War, who have been backed up all the way to their home base. There was some controversy here on what started this whole mess, but honestly, I wish I knew the whole story here, because at first I thought X-War and Spec were on the same side, but it appears that some combat fighting over this level 7 turned sour, and lines were drawn, and Boone picked one side and the other side got pushed back. That being said, not a lot going on there right now. head on down to G4. G4 has 2 alliances outside of it, and currently no space touching. I am not sure if these two are friendly or not, considering how I've seen a lot of these upper ranked regions run. It ends up being one alliance takes it, the other alliance gets the finishing rewards, so that may be something that's going on here and would explain why no one else is coming over to touch them. If there were allies against either of these, they would be moving in to help, but they really aren't. So it appears as if SOTF is heading around LM4S to come take this level 6, and there will be some fighting later on to get to that point, but we will see. EXO has been kicked out. Sim has 7 and 2 6s. RPG with a 7 and a 6, same as SOTF. So I believe it's just coming down to who's taking the level 8, who's going to keep it, and whether or not SOTF is going to take this level 6 over here for additional points. But we will see. G5. G5 has been completely surrounded by not 1000 ROK. Not surprised there. It looks like the lines are pretty well drawn here. TFW 1004 Z26G have been completely removed from the game to the point where they have their helipads, and that's about it. Evil has taken a level 7, and 2 level 6s. We've got R136 with a level 7 and a level 6. ROK is getting the level 8. K815 is getting 2 6s and a 7. LGHR appears to be heading across to pick up another level 6. My guess is they're going to be building across to it. They're just waiting for the materials, which would round out a lot of these alliances being even, except for the one that wins. And it looks like maybe R137 is going to be giving up that level 7 there, but it's hard to say right now. It is a shame that usually by this point in the match, it's pretty much decided. Idea of who's actually going to be winning. Now, KNQS has taken, started around the level 8. New D managed to get out of the hole that they were in against KNQS, so I am curious if... Oh, hey, Paulo. Haven't seen you in a while. Well, I haven't been streaming as much. New D has 2 level 6s and is heading up to this level 7, but KNQS has already said no. Hey, Smoke Alt. LTF has their 6 and is not getting anything else. What was this here? Tor had some space, but no. New D said no. I'm doing okay. I'm pretty sick today, so I'm probably just going to do the update for Island and reach out to people and answer questions in the chat for a little bit before I log off for the day. On that note, thank you. Okay, chat's begun. Yeah, KNQS, I had a feeling they were going to take this one. IYF is solidly in second. Just curious if there's going to be any additional fighting around this point between K and QS and New D. But if they try, K and QS will cut them off at the level 6, and yeah, it'll be a shit show all around. Still. I'm a bit low. I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, to the next island. Here we have G7. G7, no one's gotten to level 8 yet. Don't know if it's slow starts or what, or just that much arguing over things. Dumb is pushed back Raw from the level 7 here. Ven has taken their level 7 and appears to be encircling BKGT to keep them from moving forward, but hasn't been able to cut them off yet. If they can manage to cut them back a little bit, there's going to be a lot of shelters burned. I'll take a look at that here in just a second. HNZ just farming. Fox is farming their space as well, taking their 7, they're happy with it. ANCB, I don't know what's going on here. They're building up at an angle to do, where are you going? Ven is heading to the 8, and it appears ANCB is also heading to the 8, but it's weird. Doing well. Raid update stream. I am. And I can explain why right here. I have been waiting for this. I want it. I've been saving up resources and speeds for almost a month and a half now. Kind of just slow building towards tier 6 with research and buildings. I am now 1 building away from, actually 2 buildings away from research lab level 25. I'm thinking he's going to be fairly decent for me as an infantry main, having a garrison commander that isn't specific to any kind of troop, simply because you're forced to have different troop types in your own shelter. So when I'm just running my Raigoro Thunder on my wall in my own shelter, I'm not boosting the stats of any of my ranged, my riders, my cars, nothing. Victor boosts all of it. It's a bit less than straight infantry buffs, but he adds damage and buffs all of your troops. So I feel like he's going to be an interesting addition to shelter garrisons. Plus, I also want her. Bianca is going to be a huge upgrade from Alex, who I still use in Arena and sometimes in the field, and it's going to be great to see how many people are going to use her in the field. So, onward to G9. I'll skip G8 for now. G9. Mink has surrounded the level 8, but appear to be sharing it with God W right now. And considering they have the level 7, Mink will definitely be taking the level 8, at least at the end of it. So, looks like God W is trying to secure their second place finish by pushing to this level 7 over here, but no fighting going on right now. You have OXO and Wyra. No, Wyra is cut off. OXO's got their level 7 and 2 level 6s, taking another level 7 over here. Well, they have to take that level 7 if they're going to take second, if God W takes theirs. So I guess they're just waiting on the order of things. So I assume if God W is taking third, you'll give them the opportunity to take the first capture rewards, and then you'll take it from them for the finish. Because I've seen a lot of groups do that. Bro's just farming. DF39. Oh, yeah, I don't blame them. Having allies in Island Raid makes things easier. I'm definitely curious how that's going to work out in the new Archipelago raid once they finally drop more information on that. NFW only has their level 6. I wonder why you're building up at this angle like that, unless you're trying to go around without fighting them. But all in all, it's a well-fought region. Heading on back, I'll check out G8. Only a couple of names I remember from this one. D-Day building to the level 8, but they've taken 2 level 6s and a level 7. ANCI has been cut off. TBF has their 6 and 7. G3R, I don't know what's going on here. Who in G8 is merging with you? Oh, wow. Yes. Oh. That's fair. SMHS got knocked back to their helipad, and I'm sure a lot of people are happy to see this. Even if the same people from SM. Who's going to win G1, G2, and G3? G1 is HMB. I can show you that real quick, but HMB is just building to people's helipads at this point and getting points. They picked AOW first, and I feel it here. I'll go ahead and show that now. Considering immediately after taking all of the level 7s, they took a straight shot to AOW. This feels personal. And they're just wiping out any of the space that they can to try and get full zeros on them. Like, this is brutal. But the dispute between AOW and HMB has been ongoing for so long now. So once they had the towers to be able to build there, it was just like, okay, how do we get to AOW the fastest? G2 got taken over by DHX. It was hard fought yesterday between DHX and BTW, or right around the level 8, but they did eventually get pushed back. Now they're just working out who's going to take what for what positions. And I don't think G3 needs to be shown again, but if you haven't guessed, Boone is the only one that's going to be touching the level 8 right now. They've built a straight shot to an opposing 7, helped an ally take over, cut off another alliance, and yeah. They just barely touch it and go. And onward to G10. I love seeing some of these other regions making it up here into the top because it does make things interesting. I know they've gone through a few islands by this point already, so I'm not naive to think that where the upper regions are the truly experienced island raid fighters, but I feel like there's a different mentality once you get further down the regions. Number 1 has a level 7 and 3 level 6s. My guess is LAS is allied with them in some way, or else there would be a lot more fighting going on. You have WSSW not able to make a move in either direction. But I may be wrong on how LAS is going to proceed. They are building straight down to this level 6, and they are building over to this level 7. So if number 1 and LAS are not allies, they're going to be in for a fight here in the next 6 hours, depending on how long it takes them to refill towers. It's my guess. I would want to make sure I have enough concrete to hit both of these at the same time, so you can pick out the weak point and focus on it before they have a chance to alter their defense. CSWU has 2 level 6s. Oddly, though, how this is built, they may give up this level 7 depending on how the rankings go. Bald is left all by itself, and you have 93W, who's taken their 6 and their 7 and appear to also be building this direction. But that may have been to cut off Odyssey. It's hard to say. And it does appear as if Odyssey has moved all the way back to their helipad in expectation of losing their... Yeah, they know they're losing it all. Okay, they can't reach that. Not yet. So this might get a little bit interesting depending on how alliances go. Anyways. Destacaron 3 torres nuestras. Perdieron y hace un momento quemamos a uno. What do we got here? Vanguard Tower was attacked. Damn. That is ridiculous. 5 million deaths. What? Why would you keep that going for that long? I imagine it changed to a Tom Raigoro pretty quick. Because this started at 1621. They saw a Raigoro Jaden on the wall and they're like, jump. And they did. Now I gotta know. By 1624 there was a Thunder Peterson. Oh, good lord. I'm trying to get the time right on this. Yeah. At 1624 there was a Thunder Tom. And you can have the level difference problems on a garrison. That's perfectly fine. Just know you're not missing out on a lot of talents here. With a level 56 Tom versus a level 49 Thunder, you have the 1 talent point to level 50, the 10 you pick up from getting that last star, and then another 6. So it's 17 talent points just from the difference between those two. And depending on which talent you pick, that adds up. Oh, yeah. And a lot of these are going to be all zeros because Thunder and Tom don't have an AoE, and they didn't actually hit it. They were just close enough to be affected by the AoE damage reduction or whatever the case may be with Thunder and Tom's abilities. This actually hit, and that was stupid. This was a whole nother rally that hit it and failed miserably because it was a Tom Charlie rally that had already set up a Tom Raigoro defense. Yeah, this is... Oh. I feel bad for you. I want to see this. Going into G50, I gotta see this. Yeah, BFF1, who was the one who made the dumb mistake to hit that tower, the second time. BFF1 has been pushed back since, and Skiz is trying to hold a defense against ETHK, but with 5 million losses, like straight deaths, they may be able to launch an offensive at some point. Here, better let them know that. Hello, Aparayo Mareda? Mareda. Good lord. I keep wanting to read that in whatever language it comes to mind first. Aparayo Morella. I'm just going to go with that. I apologize if I'm butchering your name. How are you doing today? Let's take a look at the rest of this. ETHK is definitely is definitely going to hold on to this level 7 for a little bit longer. It'd probably be better if they pushed up north from here and tried to create another connection point. Because right now you just have, you just have one tower you're able to hit. Even if you spread it out to 2 or 3, it would spread their forces around, and you could hit their weak point. But that's all fighting for second place. Oh, is it my microphone sound or the sound of the game? Because I actually turned the sound of the game off. And as far as IR, we're pretty much sitting this one out and just having fun with it. I will go ahead and turn on the... Good lord. Yeah, it's just... Here. Okay. Let me see what's going on with my... I see it. Oh, I know what's going on. Give me just a second. It's still using... Hold on. Give me the settings. Oh, it's going behind the... No? There it is. Found you. How about that? There. I up the volume on my microphone. I have to change it for... I'm working from home this week. I have to do my meetings and my coursework in a group, and I'm constantly having to change my settings. So I keep forgetting to change them back. ask to win against Bella 1v1. Just Thunder. Thunder weakens her. Oh, well, also, hello, Carolina. I haven't seen you in my chat before, so welcome. And I appreciate the compliment for sounding relaxing. That's not one I've heard before. Thunder weakens her rider's attack power substantially. Yeah, the latest videos that I had, I'll admit that was a mistake on my part. I had to buy a webcam for my coursework, and it was connecting to the microphone that's embedded in the camera. That was my fault. Okay. What's going on here? Oh, wow. He had to have been zeroed to end up out there. Or just never ported to safety. Spell properly, please. Good Lord. Just burning them. I'm trying to be better about at least streaming the big events like Island Raid or Dark Seal and stuff like that, but lately the matchups have been so horrible lately that it's been rough to even try, and even this one, our alliance isn't doing anything. We've got space in both directions where we were setting up some friendly 1v1s with the other alliances just to make sure we got our points, but other than that, we're not making a big push towards center. There's just no chance. I think once the next top commander is over and I get situated in the new region that we're moving to, I'll be better about streaming those events because hopefully we'll have better matchups at that point. Okay, actually, let's go through all. It's impossible. It's just straight impossible. Go ahead and take all of my rewards there. Yeah, once we saw the matchup, a lot of our alliance that was planning on moving is just like, well, this is just as good a time as any, so we can get involved in the next top commander over there. So we have some people that were wanting to pick up Thunder in a new region, so they're like, well, okay, we're out. And honestly, can't blame them. Thunder has been so great for me that while I understand why some people ended up missing him, I truly feel bad for those that did. He will always be one of my, if not my most recommended hero for anyone once they've gotten to that point in the game. I mean, it's basically falls in line. You're going to need Lee when you start the game. Picking up Raigoro is a bonus. You're going to need Tom when he opens up. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, we're down to 5.6. We were at about 8 when we started. Just to give you an idea how many people have already went ahead and left. Damn, Tony came over to... I know he came by to pick up Victor and Bianca without having to spend 2,000 to 3,000. Yeah, and part of me, I have to admit, I feel like I am partially to blame for that because I keep telling everyone that I talk to make sure that they get him. So it makes it, while I'm trying to make things as good as I can for free-to-play players, like start saving in the top commanders before Thunder to make sure you get him. Now everybody is doing that. I don't know. I feel like I'm partially to blame for that. It was not my intention. I'll take a couple of those. I hope. He is. He was the second commander overall that I awakened. I actually went Raigoro, Thunder, then Tom. Then threw Jaden in there for good measure. Now I've got Robert and Adut sitting at 5451 and 5415. Not really what. I don't know if I missed something else you were trying to say in that. Okay. Where are these people coming from that you're having to deal with the devices? Jesus. What is with these 10 million people having this much gold equipment? You can. Oh, it's not impossible. If you've saved up for it, then you should have an opportunity to pick up Thunder without too much effort, but you may have to wait for the second or third iteration of Top Commander in order to get it, because a lot of people are going to fight for that first one, especially the spenders. As for if I'm going based off of their awakened skill, it's hard to say. I believe Thunder had all of his abilities are worth maxing out to the point where you kind of just pick up the awakened skill, if that makes sense. Whereas Tom, the 30% buff to infantry squads is okay. I personally don't have too much that I can say that's great about this skill, because I'm not focused on dealing damage to my enemies. I want to outlast them. So this was a bonus. But as for the awakened skill itself, this pumps up your damage reduction taken by you and your team, as well as reduces the target's damage by 15%, which really helps your mitigation efforts. There's less to worry about healing-wise if they're not able to hit you as hard. Thunder, on the other hand, has a pretty substantial damage increase buff of 15% for 2 seconds. If that hits a ranged or a rider troop that's specifically made for skill damage, if that's timed right, it is monstrous. So, I awakened Thunder first in order to have Raigoro Thunder on the field for that damage buff for anyone that happened to be walking around me. Because, and I have some report. Well, I don't know if I still have those reports thanks to Back Alley Doctor killing all of my mail space. But there were a couple instances where me and Ballsy, one other member of my team, I brought out Raigoro Thunder. He brought out his Chun Lewis. I would let them hit me, and then Ballsy would just kill him. It didn't matter if it was 2, 4, I think we had like 6 or 7 fighting us at one time. He'd back off, they'd hit me again, and then he'd come back and hurt him. And kudos that you were able to get him. I'm so happy that you were. A lot of people are just hopping into this immigration event to head back to a region that's just now starting him, and they're taking thunder from those people, and I feel bad for that. Thankfully, we've picked up a region that doesn't have as many players or have had a couple of their alliances already move away, so we're kind of filling a void at this point. You could try that. I can choose leave. Yeah, I'm not gonna hop out of the island raid. Just be careful about getting burned from behind. Move. Your region and its armaments. I don't have any questions about the game. And while I wait on that response, there's one other region I was asked to check out. I think G115. Yep. Here it is. G4C is the alliance I was asked to look at. They did take their 6 and they're moving down to the 7, but considering there's a person here, my guess is they got kicked out of it. UMCN, how are they power-wise? 1.8 versus, yeah, just double power. There's not much you can really hope to get done with that unless you're working together with another alliance. And considering this is also a 1 million, oh no. Oh, I forgot. This is really far back, so there's not the greatest. Not the greatest choices of rally commanders. So you have a Tom Rigoro running not all infantry. Let's see how bad this is going to be. When a Tom Rigoro rally can deal 6,000 to a shelter. Ouch. Do what? There's dinner. A lot of rubbish that you want to clean up. You're just asking to be burned at that point. Okay, looking at the rest of this. ODA and G4C can't really hold up to UMCN. Dora headed to the level 7 here, but they're not getting kicked out of it entirely. And there appears that there might be some fighting going on this way. Unless Hads is just completely given up. In which case, yeah, Hads wasn't even here to begin with. They didn't even move past their level 6, really. So, they just... some of their members didn't even move. Surprised any of these have any... I'd be surprised if any of those haven't been burned already. Japan doing well. Ivory's moving to the level 8, but will they... do they have enough power to take it? No. If they can get around it, they may be able to defend. And if they have enough allies, UMCN won't really... will have a hard time taking it from them. But I think UMCN will just move in and take that one out. Let's see. What is that? Infectious disease? You... I don't even know what that means. Unless you're trying to say Swiss cheese condoms. Oh boy. They're just sitting outside of Deathlock's home here. Waiting on that tower to burn. With that tower gone, is it going to get any more shelters burnt? Doesn't look like it, no. So it'll just cut off the territory that they have and push them back to their helipad for the rest of the match. Okay, I'll take a look at G14. Let's see what's going on in G14. Said your Vex down here in the bottom left corner. Ah, I see why you're asking. The right side of the map. And what happened here? Dragonhawk got cut off from their space entirely from multiple sides. So, let's see what the power difference is here. So I haven't really taken a look at this one. We got 4, which... okay. 3.8. 3.2. 3.8. I imagine there's going to be... oh, there's going to be a rally here in just a minute. Whether it's actually at a tower or at a hive mind, we don't know yet. But we'll come take a look at that in just a minute. Dragonhawk at 3.5 likely was higher than that before this whole debacle started. But you still have people that haven't moved away from this position. And they're going to... this had to have just happened. Took the level 7 from them, and you've got the Fallen who have cut off their side on the side here at 3.5. Vex 3.6. Wow, this is a very even island. I really can't complain about this level of matchmaking. But if the left side of the map wants to be able to do anything against the right side of the map, you're going to need to cut off TH45 from that level 7 first. From there, you can make a, if you can get all on the same page anyway, you could make at least a 3v2 for the level 8, focusing on TH45 first, and taking this top corner. Otherwise, if you try to go for the bottom corner, it'll end up being a 2v1 from this side, and that will leave UID not only trying to push back AM3R, but also trying to make a move against TH45 on their own. And that's just not going to happen. So let's see where that rally went. And T6 is great from an offensive standpoint. Once you get on defense, your T6 needs to be on all the time, or else it doesn't matter. Let's take a look. You got 1, 2, 3. Here you've got 1, maybe 2, maybe, but only in one troop type. You have enough power here to hold off. I think Vex could hold its own against WORR, depending on what time they decided to fight. But I think, given with only a couple of T6s, you just have to figure out when they're going to be online. If you time your offense to when they're not online, you're facing them at their absolute weakest. And then when their T6 gets online, after you've taken a tower or two, you stop. You've cut them off, or you've taken a tower, or you've cut off territory, or whatever, and then use isn't going to be the greatest. Just to see how powerful these are. Not bad. Not bad at all. Less so. You've definitely got the parts, but they're all spread out, so he's not going to be too powerful in any one particular troop type. Again, same thing here. What's going? Just wanted to boost the training speed and the capacity? I don't get that. Anyways, I would be more concerned with him based on his parts and equipment, because he'd be able to run a solid rally at you no matter what the troop type is. With You Can't Stop Me or Umbrella, if they're not running ranged rallies, they're not going to be as effective. Near as effective. It'd be like me trying to run anything but an infantry rally. It's a bluff. Which, I'm excited. This will be read next week. But if you wanted to think of it this way, with only 3 T6 players, they can't defend more than 3 towers. Okay. There you are. Oh, Luffy. Good. For this level of power, having this equipment with these parts, awesome. because Vex is, yeah, how far back is, yeah, you're region 52, so yeah, you're doing very well. As you can see, I don't even have parts in my other two types, so I could get purple parts. They get expensive. So yeah, you're doing very well for yourself. I do believe that if you, hopefully you've started burning these out of the way. Unless you plan on having Dragonhawk reconnect their space and help out in some way. But I don't see that happening. If you, FLN, and UID worked together against TH45 and WORR, I see it being possible, even with their tier 6. It also depends on how long these guys actually hold here. Question, why don't it... AM3R are your allies? Why don't I upgrade the backpack? Because as far as the refinement, you mean? Here, actually, let's get into that. Equipment workshop. FLN enemy, UID ally. Oh, well, that makes things different, which means FLN is coming down towards your level 7. Kudos to them for that. As for why I didn't put any refinement into the backpack, I don't need the death rate. As for the parts, they are skill damage dealt. I'm an infantry commander. I'm not trying. I'm trying to outlast overall. However, a lot of these have been increases that are more specialized for my infantry troops. I'm still not using much outside of infantry at all. Damage reduction, I will. So they're kind of just sitting there and, oh, well, it looks like they're, I didn't even take a look at this. It looks like all of their cities have backed off, so maybe you're right and they won't even move this way. Looks like they're all set up over on this side anyway, and are moving forward. If they can end this without too many casualties, then you two can work together against these two. And on two fronts, ooh. I'm going to say this out loud and probably, well, not a lot of people watch me here. Ooh, Archer focus. Research is pretty self-explanatory. But as far as equipment, nothing wrong with going with the squad capacity, but it is a large infantry buff. The two up at the top are ranged squad buffs. If you're just going to focus on archers, then you can actually pick up the vest, backpack, and gun. No, I don't know if I've gone down to G12. I'll take a look at it again here in a minute. Gun is range squad attack. And considering your whole point is to deal as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible, making sure you get this upgraded next would be beneficial. You can round out the 3 ones that you focus on with the backpack for the additional basic attack and counterattack damage, just to add a little bit more power if they decide to hit you. But I love squad capacity, because here you can just see the difference. Your gold one versus my red one is a 2.5% squad capacity difference. That's 2.5% to every stat because you have that many more troops. It adds up. Now, if you decided to just leave your vest at gold, you could pick up the nice range squad defense that you get from the helmet, and once it's maxed out, it's a 24% bonus over your purple, I think you had. So yeah, that's 16% there. Equipment is great. Make sure you have a solid arena team so you're getting all of those rewards. But anyways, I was asked to check out Region 12. Let's hit the right buttons. It was an easy choice for me because it also came with an infantry buff. That was the first one I got to red. No, I have not looked at this one. Let's take a look. Region 12. Looks like... Okay, let's see. ANKD, anchored. Nice. But just having the high power isn't everything. If you're archer focused, you should make sure you're running at least 2 range squad teams that aren't getting hit. And based on the level of advancement in your region, you should have Lewis, Lee, CO, and Akemi for ranged options, which should cover you as far as damage. And find a way to incorporate Alex in order to get that 40% range squad attack buff. Anyways, back to the topic. MD71 said no to MRM, making sure that they don't go anywhere. Anchored has touched the level 8 and is cutting off fire at their source here. But no, they moved over to it, but they haven't actually taken it. Wonder what the reasoning was there. The military language instructors have taken Legos level 6 and have pushed over to the level 6 here. Maybe they're just going to allow fire to have this level 6 but not be dead last. Shot also pushed back to their level 6. And it doesn't look as if Tits is taking a shot at it. So, maybe this region has already been decided as far as who's going to get what. But you have a level 6 and a level 7 here. Fire has their level 6. Shot has their level 6. Anchored is getting first place because no one is even coming close. Is there a reason behind that? 6.8 this low down? Yeah, that'll do it. 4.5. Gotta love when the title is cut off like that. It's just Ministry of D. Yes, it's Ministry of Defense, but sometimes I wonder if people plan it that way. 4.6. Madagascar. Where did this tag come from? I don't know. 4.5. So in a world of 4.5s, there's a 6.8 taking over. 3.8 expected. 3.8 expected. 4.9. 4.9 got pushed back by 5.6. So yeah, these two alliances are working together to make sure that people are only getting what they're supposed to get. Sorry about that. So I imagine most of the rest of the island is either allied with them or in some form of non-aggression pact to make sure that they get to keep their points. I don't want to go back. But can't risk it. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking it is right now. I'm hoping by getting into an older region, even with similar power, we can kind of be at least down in the 6 to 10 range, not up in G1. We have no business being up here. Because we were at 8. We were, I believe, the highest we had with our merged. How is G47 doing? Yeah, that's pretty smooth for SK95. Are they going to take... Nope. Oh. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, sorry. A few alliances were meeting you back at your level 6, but you still have it. So, and some islands are going to be like that. I feel like with how this is set up, there's nothing to prevent the match from being decided before it's ever begun. Diplomacy is has such a big effect on how Island Raid turns out that a lot of these are decided before the match even begins, which is sad in my opinion, because I would like for it to be a genuine free-for-all, but alas. I wonder what it looks like. Coham is trying to build up alongside here. Don't know what the reasoning is here. Some of these builds, and it's hard to say what the attempt is. Coham is preventing NAC from moving with people. No, they're just killing. Okay, so these two are allies. ENX and SK95 are holding here. Captured by Alliance H and B. Five sitting around this tower in case they build up high enough for it, I guess. Doesn't even connect yet, does it? No, doesn't connect. But yeah, this one's pretty much done. There might be something that goes on in this little section here. But otherwise, yeah, pretty smooth island for the rest of the way. Let's see. Question: will they? Couldn't tell that at first. That is a bubble. I was gonna say, because considering how much Pickle and Deathlock get into it, or Deathlock and the entire HMB Alliance, I wouldn't have put it past them just for them to build to tear this tower down, just so they could hit him. And they'd hit him in a heartbeat. They wouldn't care about the losses they take. Where are you going? Oh, you're going to go hit him again. They've stopped burning, so Time to go hit them again. HNP Buzz. What'd you move back for? Oh, El Magnifico is heading on. This is a shame. Losing so much of our alliance to migration so that everybody can get the heroes they need is rough, knowing that I'm going to be here for at least another week. Oh, I haven't even done this stuff yet. Good lord. You can tell I'm out of it today. Do you all have any more questions for me that I can kind of show you all on a stream setup as opposed to trying to make a video for it? Really wish there was a claim all button for this. I can only imagine how long Boone or HMB has to sit in here clicking on this. Actually, what we got here? Yeah, you can beat them on offense because you can pinpoint their weak points. I don't want to. Just for the claim all button? It's almost worth it. Wait, hold on, I missed the whole first part of that fight. Not a good setup. Here, I need to slow that down. Set up in front of Cynthia and Catherine in order to kill them first. I understand that. Yeah, it's the monthly subscription thing. I may have to get that. Considering Jaden and Tom aren't designed to do damage, I would have put someone over there. I would have probably put Liam Martin over there in Charlie Raigoro's spot to absorb damage, so that Charlie's AoE was hitting more people. Because right now it's just hitting 2. But you'll see as soon as Catherine and Cynthia fall, Lewis will follow shortly behind. And then the KGLB team doesn't have any damage behind it anymore, because they didn't actually protect their main damage dealers, taking out the last debuffer on the team. Now, Tom Raigoro takes a lot to take down, especially if it's still at full strength at the end of the fight. And I'll speed this one up. And you can see it's technically taking bad trades here. But there's just enough damage to hold out. Win by literally 2,000. One, this one. Hello. tunnels. Oh, where'd you go? I just accepted you. There you are. And looking at this was a solid win. And still going head first against them. You don't need to do that. Come at them from an angle. Get those. I mean, granted, if they're going to keep making the mistake of putting their damage dealers out front, like Peter or Nakano, then by all means, absolutely make them pay for it. But it just feels weird to attack people head on nowadays. At least for me. On that note. Yes, 4v1 you need to have allies. You're right, Tom and Babs. On that note, get through the rest of my daily stuff. And sitting down at 177, let's push myself back up. Not even gonna, yeah, you've lowered your defenses. I hope we can get that new region on board with this as well, because making sure everybody has access to the top 20, or at least as many people as possible, definitely helps out the region as a whole. Nope. It really is primarily one alliance now. This is Doomsday: Last Survivor. Technically it's a mobile game, but I am playing the PC version of it. It's essentially a city building game. I don't know if you've seen games that kind of look like this before on your phone. Oh, they were enemies from a previous IR, allies were pushed back. Kind of a friends to lovers scenario. Over 400 days. Let's finish out. Yes, I know you put a Jade in here, so I'm going to make you pay for that, and I'll set up against your Lewis. Watch this go. Lewis Chun hits like a truck. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's why, depending on what alliances get paired alongside HNB or Boone, when they finally get put in the same island raid, if that ever happens, I feel like even those matches will still be decided before they even start. Although I would like to see an HNB BTW versus Boone and DHX matchup. That would be phenomenal. That's the first I've seen of SK95. I've heard of them, but I haven't seen them in action before, and no, they took a commanding presence in this island. got one more. No, let's bother Ballsy. Where is he at? I just saw him. There you are. Put you here, because that should push your... Actually, go based off of the speed here. That'll put Lee here, Tom here, and it'll at least force Chun around this direction. And then it'll be up to whether or not Lewis gets here fast enough. Oh, that should bring Chun and, at the very least, Chun around. Chun, Lewis went the other way. But that still puts Chun on this side. If you can get to where you're going first, 1v3s are still possible. We figured that out the hard way. Don't know if I'll be able to get this one. Ballsy's range troops are insanely strong. Yeah, you already have that rapport with other regions, even with just your name. People already tend to know who I am, which is very helpful if I meet regions from earlier portions of the game. So I'm hoping that when I get moved into this new region, I'll still be able to use basically my name as kind of a diplomacy tool. Ballsy, your range has gotten too powerful. Yeah, that's still nuts. You've got 2 infantry and 3 range troops. I'd be willing to bet you are running. No, you're running infantry with it. But your range squad attacks at 77%. Abuse that power, man. Anyways. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm staying here for Top Commander, so I can empty all of this out. I'm not too concerned about steel, because infantry doesn't use steel. And I've got this building and this building left to upgrade that I absolutely need. I'll replenish that. What is this? I hadn't even seen this. What's going on here? Oh no. I have 50 points I can spend, but you're going to make me do something for it. Nope, you're just going to give me the lowest thing on the totem pole, second lowest. How do you get points? By buying packs. In order to get another spin, you have to spend $50. Wow, game. Just wow. Anyways. They're just gonna get... Damn it. Five superior rations, HQ 21 for tier 4. Let's see, stats are armaments are the main problem right now, but I can't overcome that. Chun will make wonders of a difference, I know that for sure. I have enough to get her to 60 already, so that's great. Skill tree, high skill damage, and freeing up a chemi for a second range squad. Absolutely. Second account is infantry, still waiting for tier 4, and you have Charlie Awakened. Um, how much did I spend on the game so far? If I had to guess, I've maybe spent 200 on this game, maybe 250 over the course of the entire time I've played. It might be more. I mean, I've played for over a year now. And I really only spend 5 here or there. The only time I've really spent more than $5 is for Alliance League for the package purchasing. Because I'll do one of those, and which is like, it started off as only needing 3 packages in order to get that 1,000 points, but now you have to buy 5 packs at $5 a piece. So, and I've done that twice. One towards the beginning and one actually in the last Alliance League. I did that because I wanted the frags built up. Yeah. I wanted to get a handful more of these. And Alliance League is fairly good at giving you those if you do all the missions. So now I've got 262 fragments I can throw into a hero next week, which will be a lot of points. That's always great to read when you get back in English channel. Probably should make that clear. You didn't want to feel your toes. Why not cut them off and donate them to charity? Don't make that joke, Brain. It's part of me. I'm literally just saying. This guy's a bit of a dick. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I don't know, for him to move. Oh, we're building oil. I will go. But anyways, what time is it? Well, I'm gonna take a look at a couple of the top islands again. I'm not gonna bother looking at G1 or 3. I do want to see if 2's made any changes. They're still slow building that flag. No major changes here. 4. I think 4 was already decided as well. It's just between these two. True. MGM still got their big area. Slot F and RPG are basically going to trade for this. WL46 out of it. No big changes here. Is there any of the other ones I wanted to look at? No, that one was decided by ROK. I don't think KNQS is going to give up their victory here. No other connections are made. And let's pick one more to look at. Nope. I should look at 9. I was asked to. How's Awake Chun and Jin versus Thunder and Tom Garrison? Jin's an interesting choice. It does... Here, I need to get into the heroes for that. I don't like Kerry either. Kerry doesn't even do his own job. But Jin has the problem of he can boost rally capacity, but against a lot of different, against like towers and garrisons on Island Raid, not shelters, but against the towers and I believe the fishing villages as well. The rally is capped. Adding 11% to it doesn't really make much of a difference because you can only have a 1.5 million rally against it. If there was no cap and you could push that 2 million up to 2.2, or with other commanders push it even higher than that, that makes a difference. But there's a lot of rage, because that's 100 rage in 5 seconds. So it would basically nullify Chun's added rage skill. Her being at 1200, meaning I believe she picks up 100 from taking skill damage, which would count when Tom hits her. So there's 100 there, and then Jin, so you're still looking at a probably 8 to 9 second skill cycle with all of her talents. I just don't think there's enough damage. Because with Thunder and Tom, they're going to out-heal you. Getting past that part, like just getting that thought into your head and understanding that you're not going to out-damage their healing, you can start to focus on making sure that you create as many heavily wounded troops as quickly as possible. So I don't think the consistent damage of Jin is where you want to go with that. Now, if you were up against, say, like Thunder Lewis or Tom Lewis, where there's less healing but more damage dealt, then having the sustain from Jin would be very helpful. But against Thunder Tom, you need skill damage. Because then not only, well, and you also have the added bonus of hoping that your skill damage procs after he started healing, so that a couple of turns of healing are wasted. Because here, let's do a little bit of the math. Thunder, 5 seconds for 2,800 is what? 14,000? That means you need to be able to deal at least 14,000 worth of skill damage. And you can actually you can do a little bit less, because the HP recovery, it does factor in how many troops you currently have. And as you take damage, you're going to have less troops. So Chun definitely hits hard enough. Damage factor of 12,000 plus it's only hitting one enemy, so it's an increase of 20%, which would put it at 12,000 plus 2,400, so it would be 14,400. And then you would just need another commander that hits harder than Tom heals, which isn't hard, even Awakened. That's only 4,800. Yes, he does have additional healing, but if you're using, like, I think even Chun Julia would be a viable ranged option. Chun Lewis is the go-to right now because of Lewis's amazing rage generation skill. His increase to skill damage of 30% is still one of the highest in the game, and it has no gimmicks attached to it. It's just a flat 30%. If you have 100 million, you probably have too much. Because, here, I think it was... crap. I know that infantry troops, I don't think they actually even use steel to create. I think it's just food, wood, and oil at tier 5. To heal them doesn't require any steel as well, so you'd basically only be using steel for recovering the other 3 kinds of troops and any building that you do. Once you get to a certain point, you're not building much anyway. But yeah, to answer your question, Smoke Alt, I think Chun Lewis is probably a better bet against the Thunder Tom Lewis, just to make sure you have enough skill damage to actually hurt the damn thing. Plus, it comes with the added bonus of people not being dumb enough to swarm it. Lewis hits like a truck to 5 enemies all around it. You just gotta... One thing you gotta watch out for with using Lewis on a rally, though, is there is a cheese that you can exploit with Lewis, because he hits anything within his AoE. So what you'll see is a lot of people running single troops to Lewis's AoE range just to absorb some of that damage, and since his skill is a 15% damage reduction when it hits additional targets, it weakens the attack on the main rally. So if you run a rally with Chun Lewis, get field control and make sure they don't do something like that. Just kill the troops before they make it to Lewis's AoE. Let's look at one more, and then I think I'll call it a night. What was a good one? I think 7 was interesting, because they hadn't made it yet. Dumb hasn't connected. You had Ven here building around, but they haven't fought yet. Then you've got this weird build coming up here. Looks like ANCB did decide to hit this tower for some reason, but it didn't actually finish breaking, so... Okay. Well, it is 11 o'clock on my end. I honestly didn't expect to be streaming for this long, but you all kept me engaged in chat. Thank you very much for that. I enjoy talking to you all. Do y'all have any last minute questions for me before I log off for the night? Because I need to get some sleep because I wake up early in the mornings. What is this damn... It says I still have one. That's gonna bother me. Click on stuff. I'm so happy when I make this red. I don't have any more points to give you. Oh. I looked at it. But, well, then I'm going to pack it up for the night. I appreciate... Oh, dang. I apologize for keeping you up this late. I hope you enjoy the rest of your island. I know Fire's had a rough one, but well, thankfully we do know that your placement in previous IRs does have some bearing in how your matchmaking goes for the next one, so you'll likely be on the higher power end of a lower island, if that makes sense, next time. But don't quote me on that, because we finished dead last in our last island, and yet here we are in G1, so we do know that it does play a part, it's just not perfect. But with that being said, thank you all for joining me this evening. I am happy to be able to do these streams for you. If you have any comments or questions you want answered for stream tomorrow, feel free to leave them in the comments of the video, and I will get to them on when I start my stream at 2 o'clock UTC tomorrow. This is Mr. Grain, your friendly neighborhood gaming dad, signing off.